All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order of the German Township Board of Zoning Appeals reorg meeting at 7:01 PM.
Did you call?
Yep. Pete Lurker.
Here.
Joe Schaller.
Here.
Valerie Hill. Here. Rachel is unable to make it. Marty Cox.
Here.
No, Adam and William Easton.
Here.
All right. Do we need to move Mr. Easton to the sitting board? He's an alternate.
I'll so move as a motion. Will it be a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
Do I just abstain in that situation?
Yeah.
All right, we need a motion to elect Board of Zoning Appeals officers.
Is there a motion to nominate someone for president?
Nominate Mr. Lurker.
I second.
Do I have to ask for a second on that? Go ahead, Ed, for a second.
Valerie did.
I already seconded.
I second.
Thank you. All right, I'll accept that. Anybody else want to be nominated? Do we have to vote on that?
Is everybody in favor?
Yes.
Anybody not in favor? Okay. So, Mr. Lurker, you are our president once again.
I'd like to nominate Valerie to be vice president.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
Just a question, are you currently? Okay, I just wasn't sure if you were.
All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Okay, carries.
Full business, the other thing we have is the public hearing for BZA case 2023-04V for the new Valley View School District sign will be held on January 9th at 7 PM. We barely have enough. We've had a few abstain due to.
That'll be myself, Marty, and.
I believe Rachel said she can make it. I don't know about Mr. Blakely.
Okay.
We need motion to approve the 2024 regular meeting schedule.
Anybody make a motion, accept that?
What is it the same as what we've had?
Yeah, what is the second Tuesday of every month when needed?
Sure.
That's actually in our the bylaws.
Yeah, and I always let you guys know if it's needed or not, so.
And not, normally you can't have the meetings other than the second Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
They're just not always needed. So do we have a motion to approve?
so move. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Carries. And before we make a motion to adjourn, the zoning board will do their hearing, which is same as ours.
Mhm.
And then after, they'd like us to stay, have an informal discussion with them. That'll happen after their meeting, which I'm assuming theirs is gonna be 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, if that.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Lurker, can I make a statement?
Mhm.
Mark Cross, 7444 South Towers. I just want to thank all you for being on the BZA and the zoning commission. I don't think the residents realize how important these boards are. Again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Shauna for all her hard work last year and coming up. And not to be too dramatic, but I think some of the decisions coming up in 2024 will affect the township for years, if not decades to come. So something to look forward to. Thanks again for everybody. I appreciate it. So.
All right, once again, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Carries.
Motion adjourned, 7:05 PM.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. 7:10, 7:09. So. Okay, this is the annual reorganization meeting, of the zoning commission. I'd like to welcome visitors. Visitors are required to write your name.
Kurt, I'm gonna interrupt just a second. We gotta do roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope. Kurt Jacoby,
Present.
Dave Jenks,
Here.
Dan Lee,
Here.
Marvin Rieger,
Here.
Rick Lander,
Present.
Chris Taylor, here, and Jim Martin.
Here.
All right, now you can go.
Okay, welcome visitors. Um, Visitors are required to write their names and address on the sheet at the front, stand at the front door. Visitors are limited to 3 minutes for their introductory presentation to the board. Visitors' comments are directed only to the board and not to be directed to others who may be present. The board will decide to address the issue under old business or new business for further discussion or table the matter. The Zoning Commission is here to serve the residents of German Township. We are a public body appointed by the trustees you have elected. We are volunteers and your friends and neighbors. Our job is to balance the rights of property owners with the values of the community. This is a public meeting. As such, we are required by state law to auto-record the session so that it becomes part of the public record. What you say can be used in a court of law. When it is your turn to speak, please approach the podium, state your name and residence. Okay, we can move to the election of officers for the Zoning Commission of 2024.
To nominate Kurt Jacoby for president. I'll second.
Second.
Can I third it?
I'm giving the second to Daniel Lee. He had it first. Anybody else?
Any other nomination?
Second move nominations be closed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we can, I hear nominations for vice president.
I nominate Marvin Rieger for vice president.
Here a second.
I'll second it.
Other nominations for vice president? Yeah, vote. Nomination should be closed. Do I hear
Second.
second? Okay, all in favor of Marvin Rieger being vice president for the 2024 zoning commission? All in favor?
We just did that.
Go.
Okay, that is,
We need to get two.
yeah, right. Is there any other old business that we need to discuss here?
It's old.
Yeah,
Very old.
yeah, it's very old.
Start with approving the minutes from the last meeting.
Why don't we do that? Yeah. Okay, has everyone read the minutes?
Yes.
Any comments, corrections,
Well done.
as always?
Use that now. And do that.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of last meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved as written. Okay, you can decide whether this is old business or new business, but we believe we have the all solar facility draft for our regulations done. I think that's our conclusion. We've had input from the county. They've reviewed it, given their suggestions, which were fairly minor, really.
Are you friend Daniel Peterson?
Yes, okay, yeah, the legal counsel, at the prosecutor's office. So, actually, I think we talked with them several times. Anu Sharma was, when she was before her maternity leave, talked with her a couple times. This has been going on since what, April?
We put the moratorium in June first. Yeah, it's been going on since, since then.
Yeah, the state legislature and governor signed into law. Yeah, law that gave the township some authority. It hadn't had before. So I was wondering, has everyone been able to read through the draft?
I did.
Okay. Comments and questions with regard to that?
I have one question, if I may. 18. It does, and I'm sure this has been thought out, but the last sentence there, it says, cannot be linked in any form with any other facility. I mean, it has to link to the grid at some point, so if there would be such a thing in the township. So I just see where I'm going.
I do.
Any other solar, because the solar facility, the small solar facility is.
Figured you'd have an explanation.
It is what links to, that's how they operate. So
Yes.
that links to the utility. But this is referring to any other small solar facility.
Okay, specifically any other small solar facility, not to the grid.
Right.
And this was approved, that question was confirmed.
By
By-
Daniel Peterson.
Daniel-
Yeah, the only
Daniel
thing,
Peterson.
and you might see on the copy that was sent out for review, where I highlighted it in red.
Right,
I think he really added there was the fact that, at the beginning of that statement, in addition, it shall be a violation of these zoning ordinances. That's what he recommended we added.
Okay.
Because he said that then makes it very clear that that's a violation that we could then address a certain violation. It's not just another guideline, it's an actual infraction of the ordinance.
Well, the way I read it, it sounded to me like it was about connecting to another 50 megawatt or smaller facility. But I just wanted to be clear that, at some point it does have to hook to the grid. So that,
It came off last time in reference to a really good point that Chad Gilbert had made about the fact that these things could be a patchwork approach. And so,
Right.
just to make sure that doesn't happen, we're saying that it can't be linked by anyone, obviously. So
Yeah.
you won't have one over here and one over here and one over here and there. And then the corporation comes in and says, they're all linked now. We didn't know what's happening.
We have exceeded 50 megawatt.
Yes,
And so
right.
township
It's an
hands
aggregate.
off, right?
Right.
That's
It's
essentially.
an aggregate, basically. So
yeah, I understand that. I completely understand. I just wanted clarification on that.
the clarification, one thing I don't think I'd worry about it, but the thing that could happen, you might have two 25s linking up and making a 50. They could technically do it, but that's the smaller.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have any other problems with it.
And you've done a fantastic job on this.
Thanks.
You had to put in many, many hours on this, so.
A lot of those hours were changing a few words. from
Hey,
previous.
still, come a long way.
He does.
Approve. I think we need to make a motion to approve. Approve section 2401. And add this to our zoning regulation. Will I get it?
And
And 3801.
3801.
And 3801. Make that
We
motion.
have to say that we're accepting that or that we're referring it to the trustees in the county.
I believe it
That's
has to go to
basically
the
what-
Montgomery County Planning Commission first.
So is that what the?
So I believe you guys have to approve it and then it goes to Montgomery County.
by virtue of the fact we approve it, that's
Yeah.
the next step. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, Marvin.
Well, that's fine. I just make a motion that we approve this then and send it on to the county and I think we need a second on that.
I'll second.
There we go.
Okay, all in favor? Motion is approved and draft will be sent to the county prosecutor's office for their review. For their approval without change. Then it will go to the county planning commission for their review. Right afterwards, I believe that's not simultaneous. It's one before the other. Then it comes back to us for a public hearing. assuming there's no changes that we have to make it in the interim, and then we have to go through that whole process again with changes. We have to send it back to the prosecutor's office, I think, unless it's something real minor. And so then the public hearing, if it's approved after that, then it goes to the trustees. The trustees have a public hearing. And then it's voted on up or down by the trustees to add to the resolution. Okay,
What kind
great.
of timeline is that?
Pardon me?
What kind of timeline is that usually?
Well, we've got something less than 6 months now, and that's,
I think we should be, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get done
Yeah.
within the next 6 months.
I just was curious on how long it usually takes when you have to send it to the county.
yeah, they have either monthly or bi-monthly meetings, so you got to kind of get in their cycle.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, though. There can be some delays in that.
But I think sending it to them on January 2nd or January 3rd is
Mhm.
getting it in there pretty decent.
Then we need a 2-week advance notice for a public hearing, as do the trustees. And, 6 months is not too much. I don't, yeah, not sure. Okay, other old business. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. So, Trustee Cross had proposed a schedule of meetings, and there are really three that we could consider here. That's on the document that I have here. So that went out to you last Thursday as well. So we can keep the quarterly meetings, and assuming that we don't have a lot of need for special meetings, that may be plenty. The problem with special meetings is they can't be scheduled, and we have to have a lot of discussions to find a date when everybody's available, right? Or at least we have a quorum available, right? So, and then you have to find when the township hall is available and all that. So there are some disadvantages to having a quarterly meeting when we're likely to have special meetings. And with what we've got going on in the likely agenda this year, the chance of having at least 2 special meetings is pretty good. So if we went to odd number months where we had the first Tuesday of every odd numbered month, beginning with January, March, May, July, September, and November, we would end up also with 6 meetings. Okay, so, but those would be considered regular meetings. When you have a special meeting, you're limited to the subject as far as what you can get done, really. You're supposed to focus on solar or campgrounds or whatever the subject might be.
The only way I see it would work out well is to go ahead and schedule the regular meetings. And when a special meeting comes up, we work with it then.
That's true, or we could cancel regular meetings if we haven't give enough advance notice. So it's really up to the members here to decide what they'd want to do. The third choice is that we have this meeting and then we go to even numbered months, which misses a couple of holidays. And it does give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regular meetings for the year. So it's really up to, what everybody wants to agree on here.
Any
opinions?
What Dave mentioned is that it gives us more flexibility maybe to do the regular schedule. And there's, if we're going to have to change them anyway, I was thinking, how easy is it to actually set I see both of these say we can get the calendars open for those dates we have in all of these, right?
Mhm.
So I think, first of all, we do want you at the meetings, so I think that's important.
I appreciate that.
But we can, so I don't know, we need to go, I think, with a regular meeting and just change that the April meeting to another date, if we think we need one sooner anyway. So I was wondering if you cleared these dates, so 3/5 would be available if we did the regular quarterly meetings, we could still do 3/5 for our next meeting.
Are you talking about option 2?
I'm not, option 2, I'm talking about one date out of option 2. In other words, keep regular meetings instead of doing the 4/2 one. We would meet on 3/5 instead of 4/2.
I mean,
I think we'll probably
That's
have
up
some
to you
business, business before. Most likely from all the review we're doing, we're gonna hear back probably before that.
We have to have some special meetings.
And we've already talked about having some other issues that are coming up. So I think it'd be better to front end it towards the early part of the year. So that would get around your April conflict. We could do.
I won't be here in April either.
Yeah, so if we do, the regular quarterly meeting, but instead of 4/2, make it 3/5.
You didn't consider meeting in Tampa.
Yeah, well, we could do that too.
I'm okay with it.
Not with us all coming down there too.
You know, we can meet on the beach. I'm okay with that. So you're saying keep the regular quarter?
I think that's what you were saying too. Just adjust it when we need to. Maybe we don't
Right.
need to set. We won't need to set tonight. Probably 3/5 would be the next date.
Then just reschedule the April meeting. That sounds good.
You guys are not wanting to schedule more than with the 4 meetings for the year.
Probably are. I think what we're saying we probably are. We just don't want to set them yet. Probably. That's why I was asking how clear that your schedule was as far as right now. If we want to go ahead and do another hybrid approach, but I think mainly we're just looking as far as the April. I'm pretty certain we'll need a meeting before April anyway. So why don't we just get
Almost for sure. Yeah, public hearing or something.
We could still, either way, we could go with option 2 or 3. I mean, if you really think that we're gonna need more regular scheduled meetings, I agree with Kurt that it's easier to put them on the book now
hold it.
than try to schedule, because then we're sitting here looking at our calendar going, oh, I'm not available this day, you know.
We already said we can cancel any meeting.
Yeah.
We think we don't need.
And we can still, I mean, either way, we can change that April meeting. If we go with
Number
option
2.
2, there's not even an April meeting. But then you also have overlapping the 4th of July holiday, so you could go with option 3, change the April meeting to a March or May if needed.
All of them are fine with me.
I mean, yeah, we'll make it
got
work.
Shauna's got the schedules that she can't do the 2nd.
Of April.
Right.
That's our spring.
Yeah.
I think you said that's the only conflict, and you checked the schedule for
For the township.
the other 2 options as well,
I
right?
believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
I don't have a life, so I can do anything.
I'm okay with number 3.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there and then move April.
Make it 3. Set it for 2.
We're being away from the holidays too.
Yeah.
Like that one right
Or
We want to go with option 3, moving the April 2nd date to March 5th instead.
That's the first Tuesday.
It gives us 3 months of meetings in a row, and I think we're gonna meet for the next 3 months.
Like it.
Okay. Okay.
I like the option of being able to cancel if needed, but yet they're on the books.
Yeah.
So do I hear a motion? Might as well do it formally here. Motion to
I'll make a motion to accept option 3 and move April to March.
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Schedule to propose to go to schedule first Tuesday of every even numbered month, except for April going to March 5th has been accepted. Okay, I think any other new business to conclude?
Yeah, one little bit. I think I can speak for everybody here. I want to thank you two, Dan and Kurt, for all the work that you guys put into this. It's been a tremendous job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Been a ton of work. There's nobody that can do what Dan does here. But
I
myself,
did a great job.
his years of penmanship are paying off. Besides, he made a career out of it, right?
Well, I believe you have an English degree too. Just don't forget that.
Okay, so I guess, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
30 PM.
Our
Or is it
next-
competition? It was supposed to, they did theirs in like 5 minutes.
So our next meeting is on February 6th.
Which, second, six.